a quick review of a comic. We won't go into any spoilers. This is a comic that's coming out next week that our friends over at Dark Horse sent over for us to check out. So we're gonna talk about this book called Dawn Runner, not Dawnbreaker, Dawn Runner #1 from Dark Horse Comics. Before let me give you a quick synopsis. We'll talk about the creative team and all that. A century ago, a portal opened over Central America, and the Tetsa that came through changed our world. Now, the world bends all its effort into making the Iron King's great mechs that must battle the Tetsa for humanity's continued survival in gladiatorial combat. Anita Marr is the greatest of the pilots and is chosen to pilot a new prototype that could change the tide of humanity's favor, an all-ages sci-fi epic from rising stars Ram V and Evan Cagle. So as I mentioned, this is written by Ram V with art by Evan Cagle, colors by Dave Stewart, letters by Aditya Bidikar. And when I was reading this, I was not expecting. I was like, I love Pacific Rim, so I was like, oh, okay. But then it definitely takes some really fun twists and turns in that premise. But I definitely it made me feel like, okay, we're getting into a story that I've already kind of like. But Clay, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What did you think of Dawn Runner?
It is pretty awesome. I really dug the art. Like, the art is a mixture of Eon Flux meets Sid Mead. But they do the best world building in this thing. So like, that's the coolest part, is like they show you so much cool stuff. And I just love the stylized look of the people versus the very mechanical look of everything else in the world. Like, it's very like when I talk about Sid Mead, he like did all the production stuff for like Blade Runner and that style. So you can kind of see that in the background. I dug it. I mean, just for the style alone, the story is great, and I love Ram V's work. But man, I'd never seen art this great. That just like, it paid off for the book big time.
Oh yeah, that definitely a surprise. I was not familiar with Cagle's work, so when I looked at the pages, I was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
all the design looks very stylized, like you mentioned. The characters have very distinct look. So, but Jeff, what did you think of the book?
I enjoyed it. First off, I don't know if I call Ram V a rising star so much as I just call him a star.
Yeah,
he's working on Detective Comics, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much further you rise from there.
Yeah, I was just like, that's a weird way to put that. I love the artwork. The first part of it, I was just like, what in the Jonathan Hickman information dumping? There was so much happening. And honestly, it almost scared me away from the book, but I'm like, pushed through it. I'm like, I don't know what any of these words mean. I'm just gonna keep reading. Artwork is beautiful. I did get the artwork, though, did confuse me. Like when we have the mech fighting the giant monster kind of towards the end, I'm like, I don't really know what's happening, but again, I just kind of like push through to see where it goes. But yeah, it's a pretty good it's like Pacific Rim, kind of, sort of. There, but more, I guess, corporate, because everything's a dystopian corporate world that we live in now. But yeah, the artwork is great. The artwork is beautiful. A little confusing, but beautiful.
Yeah, I also, like I said, I quite enjoyed the book. I like the concept of it. I think when we get towards the last few pages, there's a big surprise, or at least something that kind of comes out of nowhere, right? When they're trying to, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but they do want to unveil this new model that I read on the synopsis, and that's where things kind of take a turn. I do hope that we get into a little bit more of like the Anita character and why she, like, how she kind of became their top person. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with the familial ties, but the people seem to really like her, and I think there's more to that than just nepotism or something like that. So, but yeah, and the action stuff looks really cool too. Like, The Tetsu's designs, I didn't know what to expect in my head as I was reading it because I think it's a made up word. I don't know if it means anything, but yeah, when you first see one of them, and I feel like they're just gonna get weirder, and because they mentioned that the one we see in the book is kind of a smaller one.
Mhm.
So I can't wait to see
that
what
it was
that's gonna look
harmless.
like. Yeah, and the mechs look cool, like all the little images like that we saw, some of those designs. So yeah, very very excited to hear what people have to say about this. But I quite enjoyed this book as well. So very very thankful to Dark Horse for letting us check it out. Do you guys have anything final to say on this book? Josh, are
I
we
hope
good
that,
to
Evan
go?
Cagle. That art is amazing.
and
Josh,
I
are
hope
we?
that Rom V kid does good
Yeah,
stuff. That
Ram V's
rising
got a bright
star
future.
Rom V.
Ram V's got a bright future ahead of him, eh? But Josh, you didn't get to read the book, but have we piqued your interest? Is this
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just in the pages you showed, I totally agree with Clay. Very Aeon Flux with the
yeah?
character designs. It's awesome. Yeah, I have it downloaded. I'll take a look at it.
Well, we're gonna end this, of course, as always. Beautiful variant covers that I'm gonna have a hard time picking from.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I am looking at Evan Cagle's art page. Unbelievable. His game stuff looks like Rankin and Bass artwork from the 70s. Like his people in that are very
Okay.
stylized and look like the Last Unicorn. Like that artwork. It's
I
amazing.
feel like I've read something that he's done the art for. Hang on. Trying to
He
figure
did
out.
like I think it was Superman and the Authority.
Oh, he was doing it. I think was he doing that with Clayman, like the other pages?
Yeah, because he
Okay.
has some odd pages in here. And then he also
Cool.
did Catwoman, Catwoman 32. It looks like some pages, maybe the whole issue.
I've seen his name before. I'm sorry, Clay. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just looking through his comics pages that are on
Yeah,
his,
that's what I did too.
on his website. But yeah, look at his game art. His game art will blow you away because the style is amazing. It looks like a mixture of digital and real world.
Wow.
Very cool.
Unbelievable.